Good morning, Emerson. Today is Tuesday, April 8th. It's all been settled by cats and dogs. Anthony Chase will be here to recap the NCAA tournament finals between the Kentucky Wildcats and UConn Huskies.
And the grandson of Mohandas Gandhi spoke to us about the powerful philosophy of nonviolence. Mike and I got the opportunity to ask him a couple questions.
Good morning, Emerson. I'm Mike Canalupo.
And I'm Brittany Gervais. Welcome to Good Morning, Emerson.
We have such an exciting show because of the fact that, first off, we got to talk to Gandhi's grandson. When else?
Woo!
Right? And also, we have a whole new slew of correspondents today. We have Anthony Chase, host turned producer turned sports correspondent all over again. Then we got Madeline Avery switching from weather to news. It's a whole
It's going to be a very exciting show. You know what else is exciting, though?
What?
The new Game of Thrones season premiere. Everyone, whoever tuned in.
I didn't tune in. I haven't watched it. I'm really hoping Christian doesn't spoil anything too bad.
Me too. I haven't seen it either, but it is a very great show. Everyone check it out.
Yeah, I watched the first episode ever of Game of Thrones, and it was like a little bit out of hand. It was a little bit crazy
That's what it is,
for
though.
me. But
It's
something
so
else
crazy.
that got a little bit out of hand was a party at UC Santa Barbara. You think Emerson parties are cool? Well, you haven't seen what this party was like. About thousands upon thousands of college students came in and celebrated this annual celebration.
Right.
People got arrested. Madeline Avery will have more on that.
Things were set in fire, police officers injured, definitely an insane party. But we also have Jesse Manfra in studio to talk to us about the Bowlathon, which is a fundraiser used to raising funds for the LGBT community.
Yeah, it's going to be great to
Great
talk
cause.
to him.
But before we get started, Madeline Avery has more details on that college party that got a little crazy.
Good morning, Mike and Brittany. Good morning, everyone. A riot broke out in Santa Barbara, California over the weekend after a street party got out of hand. Officials believe 15,000 people attended the annual Deltopia party near the University of California, Santa Barbara, where the violence began. Sheriffs were responding to 2 stabbings, and from that, the situation escalated quickly. One sheriff's deputy was hit in the head with a brick. Police officials say that 26 people were taken to the hospital with injuries related to the riot, and 100 people were arrested. And we've been following this story closely at GME of the Back Bay fire that killed 2 Boston firefighters last week. Officials believe they found the cause of the inferno that destroyed a Beacon Street brownstone. Welders' work behind a neighboring building caused sparks to slip under wooden shingles at 298 Beacon Street, where the fire broke out. It appears that the welders responsible were working without a permit and without proper safety precautions. The investigation will continue to find out if the welders were responsible for the deaths of Lieutenant Edward Walsh and firefighter Michael Kennedy. And is Obama done with selfies? Last week, Red Sox player David Ortiz caused a scandal at the White House after he took a selfie with President Obama. The picture itself was not the issue, it was the fact that Samsung was behind it. Ortiz tweeted the photo and Samsung said, quote, "Thrilled to see the special historic moment David Ortiz captured with his Galaxy Note 3 during his White House visit." White House officials warned Samsung against using the president's likeness for profit, and the president's lawyers are looking into the issue. And in international news, Nigeria has just been named Africa's largest economy. The West African country surpassed South Africa after calculations were done that hadn't been touched since 1990. It's no wonder that this country has gained this title. Nigeria is also Africa's largest oil producer and most populated country with 170 million people. The oil in the country has attracted many international investors, but analysts believe that this will help the country's financial profile, but will do little for the people of Nigeria. That's all I have. Back to the couch.
Now, the fire was definitely a tragic moment for Boston. Do you think the district attorney will find the welders responsible for this fire?
Yeah, Brittany, I mean, I think it's soon to tell, but the fact that the welders were working without a permit is very worrisome. And I think that the investigation is going to be ongoing, but I believe they are responsible, and I think the district attorney will find that out as well.
Right. Thank you so much.
Now, if Maddie is doing news, who's doing weather? It's the Brit, Lloyd Mallison. Lloyd, take it away.
Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Brittany. I have to say it's quite nice to be in the studio today, especially with the wet weather this morning. But guys, I feel sorry for Maddie because the time she's been waiting to tell you about all semester has finally come. I have the privilege of bringing you great news. It's going to be a bit grey, but we are finally out of winter weather. Today it will be 63, but with that it will be a bit wet, so you may want to hold off on the sunglasses for the minute. Instead, grab an umbrella. Overnight, the temperature is going to drop to around 41 and partly cloudy, so it looks like that mild weather is here to stay. It's going to stay clear of freezing though, however, but the wind speeds will pick up. Tomorrow we'll also see a high of 50, but we will see some rain showers. Tomorrow night it'll dip back down to about 33 degrees. However, from here on out, your week's only going to get better. Your 5-day forecast is showing some temps upwards of 55 degrees from here on out with a lovely sunny day on Thursday. You're not going to want to miss out on that, so make some plans to get outside at some point, especially as Friday, the clouds will be returning, and on Saturday, there's a chance of a few showers. Luckily, these look like they're going to be clearing up for Sunday to take us into a dry week next week. Guys, I don't know about you, but I'm thrilled to finally hear the news that we're about to get some warmer weather, so hopefully you get the chance to experience it.
I can't wait.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Lloyd.
How exciting is that? Let's keep him around. 63 today? Are you kidding me? Oh, that sounds so exciting. But it sounds like a romantic comedy, but it's real life.
Yeah.
What was it, Friday?
On Friday, a couple was married at Fenway after meeting on Twitter. The two Red Sox fans tweeted about the entire ceremony the entire time.
Look how exciting this is. They met back in 2011 from replying to a tweet made by the Red Sox, right?
Right. Now, it was a definitely interesting ceremony because whenever they would tweet, they would give the hashtag the double ring ceremony because on that day the Red Sox were receiving their championship rings.
I was watching the ring ceremony, and I have to say I thought it was pretty drawn out, the whole ceremony, but this would have been fun to watch. I wish I could have got a seat and got a ticket to this one because they're like dream weddings for multiple people. If you're a huge Red Sox fan, what could be cooler than possibly getting married at Fenway Park?
Right.
Not only is it such a historic location, but it's the spot where your favorite team plays. Oh,
right, and it was so interesting that they met on social media. See, the Red Sox tweeted at Shannon Albertaz for her birthday, and then it got the attention of Cody Anderson. So Cody sent out a tweet, trying to get lucky, and he sent her a tweet saying, happy birthday, you're beautiful, I hope to meet you soon, right? And so she responded, and, it just went off from there.
Who says social media doesn't do any good?
Absolutely.
Wow, so let me ask you, because I'm a guy, so I don't really have a dream wedding location. I mean, listen, I'll walk down the aisle, I'll dance a little bit at my reception, but I don't really have a location that I need to get married at. Where is your ideal location?
I'd say on a beach somewhere, somewhere tropical, where,
Would you wear shoes? I always wonder that. Do you
bare feet? See, I don't see why women try to wear heels and sand when they do that wedding on the beach.
Right.
I think you just sink right through and it doesn't make any sense.
I think a wedding on a beach would be cool. But it would get so hot. I would have to wear a suit. You realize this, right?
But I mean, a wedding at Fenway is just so cool if you're both Red Sox fans and you both met on Twitter for being Red Sox fans. And they even got a picture with that famous Boston cop,
Oh, yeah, did they really?
Yeah, they did.
I mean, plus we have to also, since it is Fenway Park, I'm a huge Miami Dolphins fan, but who would ever want to get married at Sun Life Stadium? There's nothing exciting about Sun Life Stadium. It's the fact that it's Fenway Park that adds something so cool. So I wouldn't want to get married at Sun Life Stadium, but maybe, I don't know, maybe like a castle. A castle would be cool. Just stand on top and I am the king of the castle and I have my lovely queen with me now. But we're going to take a quick break on that note. But when we come back, tie up your bowling shoes. Jesse Manfra's here to tell us how you can support gay rights. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We're now joined by Jesse Manfra, who is in charge of? In charge of, okay, yeah. I'll take it. In charge of the Bowlathon that's being held by Zeta, right? So tell us a little bit more about this Bowlathon.
So Bowlathon, it's an annual event that Zeta puts on. I'm the community service chair. And every year we try and pick a new cause for us to support. And yeah, I mean, people just come out, they bowl, we have a good time. There's prizes that people can win, and it's all for a good cause.
Now this all sounds like fun and games. Well, what cause are you guys supporting this year?
So the cause we're actually supporting, it's for a group called Stonewall Community Foundation, and they give money to grassroots initiatives to help support LGBTQ youth. And this support really comes from Zeta alum. There's someone working at Stonewall in New York City, and we're really working closely to make this a great event.
Okay, and you said prizes.
There are
Prizes
prizes.
are very
There are
exciting.
It's a hot button word.
Yeah, what are some of the prizes?
So
that
some
are
of the
available?
prizes, we actually have tickets to see a show put on by a company in Boston.
Okay.
That's for Carrie the Musical. We also have headshots. You can get free headshots. We also have some American Express gift cards. And the big one is we have 2 round-trip JetBlue tickets.
Oh,
Okay.
hello.
Anywhere JetBlue goes, it's
Hello.
valid for the next year.
Wow.
So me and Mike will be
huge.
showing up.
We're going to our castle
Great.
or the beach, something to get married. Uh-oh. No,
Anyway.
I'm kidding.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what you expect the turnout to be for other years?
Yeah. I mean, this year is looking like it's going to be the biggest year. We've had a lot of social media support. We've been doing a lot of campaigning, flyers around school. We've been working with Stonewall to help them support the cause. And definitely the JetBlue tickets, which actually came from a Zeta alum as well who works for JetBlue. So this is definitely going to be the biggest year.
Right.
Now, I'm really hoping that bumpers are going to be allowed in this.
Right.
I
Oh,
want
of
to
course.
bump
Now, are you playing? Are you playing?
I hopefully, if I can,
If
I
you have
can
the
step
time.
away from running the event, definitely.
Right. Beat everyone.
Yeah, beat everyone.
Yeah,
Because
not
he's-
beat
he's-
everyone. No,
yeah,
definitely.
beat up everybody.
Yeah.
That's not the cause we're trying to support here. Where did you get the idea?
Yeah, so the event, it's annual. The first
Okay.
person started it, I think, about 7 years ago.
Oh, so
and
it's
so
been
yeah,
going.
so this year I just really wanted to really amp it up and make it the biggest one that we've done so far.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
when and where is this
So
going
this
to
is going to be Sunday from 12 to 2 at King's in
Okay.
King's
Back
is a
Bay.
great bowling
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
fantastic.
how much is it to?
It's $20, and
Okay.
that'll get you into bowl. It'll get you free food for the entire event, free pizza, and that also gets you eligible to win JetBlue tickets and
Yeah.
great other
Lovely.
prizes.
And it's
Lovely.
also, it supports a great cause. So guys, all go
Check it out.
to King's. Now, it's been an honor for me to stand at the sports correspondent desk all of last year when Anthony Chase, at this very seat, tossed to me. But guess what? Today, I get to toss to Anthony Chase, and he gets a recap of all the NCAA tournament. Anthony, take it away, buddy.
Thanks, Mike. Anthony Chase filling in for Bianca Bono this morning. March Madness finally came to a close last night after UConn upset Florida. To get there, they took on Kentucky in a final that almost no one predicted. There were some presidents in attendance. When you think of presidents, you got to think of Air Force One. Well, how about Air Force Young, baby? That's James Young throwing it down for Kentucky. They're going to be catching up to UConn a little bit in the second half here, but hold on, because Shabazz Napier, the calm, cool, and collected three-pointer, will put UConn ahead more now. And you have Ryan Boatwright with clock ticking down. He's going to hit the jumper in the paint. Your final score, 60-54, as the students of the lovely University of Connecticut riot in the streets. Now, the women's national title game takes place tonight. The historic matchup is between two undefeated teams, UConn and Notre Dame. This game is nearly impossible to predict. Two teams with almost identical numbers, both shooting over 50% from the field. Some are calling it the biggest women's college basketball game ever. Well, it's even bigger now because if the ladies pull off this win for Connecticut, they will once again make history with their male counterparts in a repeat of the 2004 historical season. Now, they have used 5 different batting orders and have not found a solid leadoff hitter yet. Yeah, we're talking about the Red Sox. The team's opening losing streak in the first week of the season matches the longest all-time of 2013. However, don't hit your panic buttons just yet, Red Sox Nation. Boston gave the Rangers a 5-1 romping last night. It's too early in the season to be concerned, but the team still needs to find its identity. In some positive news, though, holy Bruins! The Bruins clinched the Eastern Conference after beating the Philadelphia Flyers 5-2 over the weekend, and they did it without Jerome McGinley and Kevin Miller. They clinched the Atlantic Division last week and now continue their hunt for the Stanley Cup as the top seed in the East. For the first time since 2009, a team that was the top seed hasn't won since then. Both Iginla and Miller have very minor injuries. The Bruins now have a 2-point lead over St. Louis in the fight for the best record in the NHL, so watch out for them. That's all the time I have in this jam-packed, sports-filled day. Mike and Brittany, back to you.
So proud of you.
missed
You were
you.
born to be on camera, not behind the scenes producing. I'm so proud of you. Well, now obviously, let's talk about UConn. It's a big win for them. What does this mean for the school as a whole?
Mike, I'm going to put on my journalism hat, even though I'm from UConn territory, you know, southern Massachusetts.
No bias here.
No bias here. This is huge. You got to watch this women's game tonight. If the women pull it off, it's going to be pandemonium in Connecticut. That's all I have to say.
We all want to go to
Absolutely.
stores if that happens.
Thank you so much, Anthony.
Thanks, guys.
Now, an actor who has charmed audiences for more than 80 years has died over the weekend. Christian Mudrick has more details on this sad story.
Thanks, guys. First, the exuberant American entertainer Mickey Rooney passed away late Sunday evening. Rooney, who stands just inches over 5 feet tall, grew to monumental fame by the age of just 19. He acted, sang, and danced his way into the hearts of many Americans and became an international top box office star with his acclaimed role in Andy Hardy. Rooney is also well known for his roles at Breakfast at Tiffany's, National Velvet, and Night at the Museum. Potentially his most accomplished feat was when he debuted on Broadway in Sugar Babies at the ripe age of 59. Rooney was 93 when he passed. In the world of songs like Same Trailer, Different Park, Chainsaw, and I Drive Your Truck, the American Country Music Awards went off without a hitch. Get it? A hitch? As far as the actual awards go, George Strait took home his second Entertainer of the Year award just months before a planned retirement. Miranda Lambert won Best Female Vocalist and Best Single of the Year, and Jason Aldean won Best Male Vocalist for the second year in a row. The night that celebrates music from Blackwater, Alabama was co-hosted by Blake Shelton and some guy named Luke Bryan, and apparently they were a dynamic and funny pair who poked as much fun at the unpopularity of country music as I do. In much more entertaining news, the Game of Thrones Season 4 premiere was twisted and sadistic. Just how we like it. Spoiler alert to everyone in studio. The show opened with a shadowy and allegorical Tywin Lannister melting down Ned Stark's Valyrian steel sword after having slaughtered the Stark family in the Red Wedding. And before they got to do the electric slide, too. We are then introduced to Oberyn Martell, who is sure to be a great character, who basically messes around in a brothel before stabbing a Lannister in the hand. We catch up with Dany and her full-size baby dragons, who are kinda secretly dangerous. Jon Snow finally grows a pair, and Cersei rejects Jaime's booty call. It all ends with a 10-minute scene of the Hound and Arya Stark exacting revenge on Arya's lost friends. And let me tell you, that vengeance was sweet. James Franco recently admitted to flirting with a 17-year-old girl via Instagram last week. Hashtag creep, hashtag gross, hashtag you're too old for this. Franco met Lucy Claude, a Scottish tourist, at his Broadway show last Tuesday, and the two swapped information. Through a series of social media platforms, Franco persisted by relentlessly asking the girl where she was, if she was interested, and if they could hook up. Franco appeared on Live with Kelly and Michael to formally apologize and address his use of what he called bad judgment. You think? Someone half your age, Franco? On social media, too? Come on. Speaking of social media, our very own weather/news correspondent Madeline Avery has had some correspondence with Tyler, the Creator, over Twitter. Yay? Maddie tweeted a picture of her friend in a hat frequently donned by Tyler. Tyler responded with a silly pic of him wearing the same hat. OMG, guys, Maddie's like totally famous now. And before I toss it back to the hosts on the couch, we're gonna toss it back over to Maddie because I have a dire question for her. Double box, Maddie? Yes? Okay.
Hi, Christian.
Hi, Maddie. How are you?
Good.
So my dire question for you is, if you could choose the celebrity who snapped a selfie just for you over Twitter, who would it be and why?
Well, obviously I was really excited about Tyler because he's really funny and fun. But I think I've thought about this before, it would definitely be John Krasinski. I love him. He's my celebrity crush, and I really want to see a picture of his new baby, Hazel.
A little disappointed. I'm hoping you were going to pick Beyonce, but that's okay. That's all the juicy gossip I have for you today. Back over to the Lord and Lady of House Couch.
I like how when you said spoiler alert, Brittany, and then like 5 other people in the studio just like kind of went down.
Yep.
They did not
Yeah.
want to hear what you were saying.
Yeah, you were a little loud though, so I heard you. But did you like the Game of Thrones premiere?
I did, and luckily for you, I may have spoiled it all, but not much really happened in the episode. It was just like one cool sequence after another of like Tywin's side eye and like Dany being like, I'm cool and in charge of the dragons. I don't know, it was a great episode, a really good way to, really good way to start the season. So excited for the rest of the season.
Absolutely.
Thanks so
All
much,
right.
Christian. Now, we have to take a quick break, but stay tuned because Brittany and I got an awesome opportunity last night to speak to Gandhi. Well, sort of.
Welcome back to Good Morning Emerson. Now, yesterday, me and Mike got the awesome opportunity of talking to Arun Gandhi, who is Gandhi's grandson. It was definitely an interview I'll remember for the rest of my life. Let's take a look.
Violence is not just the physical violence that we experience and see. It is all the non-physical or passive violence that all of us are committing every day of our lives.
What did you take away from Mr. Gandhi's talk?
He is like such an activist himself, and what the things that he said specifically about with early childhood education and with working as a journalist for so long. I thought that was very interesting, seeing how issues of like social justice and social advocacy impacted his life as a journalist.
And I think that made an impact on many of the readers. They loved good stories, something that inspired them or made them feel good.
I'm really interested in knowing what he was like behind closed doors and how he raised you and what he was like as a grandfather.
He had made it his mission to devote at least 1 hour to me every day. And he pulled himself away from all of these things and just came and sat with me and was just a plain old grandfather.
One of the biggest lessons he told us was about anger and how you should use that anger wisely and use it to channel it into more positive things.
When you give these talks about nonviolence in countries like Israel and the US and all over the world, do you think people are responding to this? Do you think that change is possible?
If we don't change our attitudes and our behavior and our relationships, then the world is never going to change. And that's why my grandfather said that we must become the change we wish to see in the world. I consider myself to be a peace farmer. And just like a regular farmer goes out into the fields and plants seeds and hopes and prays that he will get a good crop, in the same way I go and plant seeds in the minds of people, and I hope and pray that those seeds will germinate and I'll get a good crop of peacemakers.
Talking to him was like talking to Gandhi himself. It was such like a relaxing, Zen-like experience,
Absolutely
and one that I know
inspiring.
both of us will never forget. But now we're joined by Lauren Fox. Lauren, thanks so much for being here today.
No problem. So before we start today, I just want to say a quick congratulations to Eliza Solomon, the winner of Emerson's
Yeah, Eliza.
She had so much personality, and she really worked it at the Baroque and retro pinup themed shoots. Today, we're going to look at how to incorporate some of the looks from the shoots into everyday wear.
Now, I love everything that you have in the mannequin so far. Can you tell us a little bit more about what incorporates or what made up this outfit today?
Yeah, definitely. This one is more of a tough, kind of rugged look with the leather jacket, kind of go into that pinup style. But then underneath we have the gold.
So
flowy.
the gold indicates the Baroque-ness of it, right?
We're gonna get a
It's like-
history lesson.
Yeah,
Oh, the history
I was
lesson.
telling everybody before the show, I took a class called Listening to Music, and somehow that taught me all about the Baroque period. I know gold is everything in Baroque, so that screams Baroque.
I know.
Excellent job.
I channeled it, I know. And then we have this nice black skirt with the studs on the bottom here.
Right.
It really adds some rugged toughness to this outfit.
I
Yeah,
love
a little
it.
edgy.
Yeah.
It's a great like going out in the town outfit.
You pair them with
Definitely.
those boots over over there, maybe?
Yeah,
that'll
definitely.
give it-
Those
that'll
boots
give
go
it
with both of the looks, actually. Over here, we have a more rocker kind of look, but you could wear it at a music festival.
Oh, without it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I love it.
Definitely.
With the warm weather coming up, this is perfect.
I know, right? I have this lace shawl over it, but you could totally do without it. If you're into a more tough look, instead of that lacy prettiness, tie a bandana around your arm.
You know what? I think, Mike, this would look really good on you.
Oh, well, yeah, definitely. It would
Yeah, with the
match with
outfit that you're
exactly what
wearing.
I'm doing right now. Nothing
you
says
go.
manliness like a red bandana.
Nah.
Look, my bicep's so big you could barely even tie it around.
Oh my God.
yeah.
There we go.
Especially with the suit. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
screams manliness right here.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely, guys. Take a hint.
See, like, this is, a guy should be wearing this while a girl is wearing that on top of his shoulders at a music festival.
Can't you see that?
That is
That's like
perfect.
the
I
perfect
like
combination.
that. I like that a lot.
Very picturesque.
Now for jewelry and makeup, what do you have for us?
Yeah, so pop of red again for the pinup look. We have some red lipstick.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It
I
perfectly matches
know.
this bandana right here.
I know.
Exactly. So
You told me you were going to put this on me, but don't do it because it's Lauren's makeup. You don't want me.
I think
Lauren
we'll
doesn't
spare
want that.
you.
Yeah, Lauren
We'll
doesn't
spare
want-
you.
We'll spare Lauren, really, is the way that
Oh,
works.
thanks, Mike. Yep. And then for this, we have some flowered metallic jewelry.
that's
It adds some
Oh, this is beautiful.
tough texture to that look. Paulina, one of the top models, wore this metallic flowered headband. It looks stunning.
That's very Baroquean of you.
Yes,
I'm just going to say
definitely.
everything that's gold is Baroquean, so great.
You know what?
Really great
I
stuff.
love all this
theme.
stuff.
That's all the time we have for today. Tune in again on Thursday. Megan O'Brien will be here to whip up something delicious. Thanks for watching. Good morning, Emerson.